It's here where we get a real sense of Edgar Allan Poe out of his uniform and doing what he likes to do almost as much as anything, which is drink.
Helps take the bite off the gloom. Hi, I'm Harry Melling and I play Edgar Allan Poe.
And I'm Scott Cooper, the writer and director of The Pale Blue Eye.
And we're going to take you through Poe and Landor's meeting in the bar, shot by shot. Fourth classman Poe, E.A. Poe, Edgar A. Poe.
This is a critical scene in the film because it's really our true introduction to Edgar Allan Poe. It's when we really get a sense of who Poe is and the type of character I think we're going to live with for the next two hours.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the man himself. Benny knows a man who's in need of a drink when he sees one.
And here we are in a tavern that is oft frequented by Augustus Landor, played by Christian Bale. It's my pal Scott Anderson, who's been in a few of my films, playing Benny the barkeep. At the end of the bar, if you look closely, you'll see the new United States Senator John Fetterman from Pennsylvania.
Ah, yes.
It's here that we sense from Patsy that something is amiss. We know that a young cadet has been found and his heart has been removed from his chest, but you can sense that this is leaving the bounds of West Point and starting to affect some of the townsfolk.
Aren't you meant to be in recital?
Good evening, recital. No, I won't be missed. No, they hardly know I'm at the academy. And besides, I've learned more in rooms like this than any classroom.
I love that moment where we see that you are trying to cover. You're performing, but then you realize this might be something that you aren't quite ready for.
Absolutely. And I thought it was a very interesting entry point for Poe. Someone who is a bit floundering, he's had a bit too much to drink. Please sit, have a seat, thank you. He's trying to impress Landor, but it's not all working.
We all are entrenched in having a very strong idea as to who Poe is and who Poe was. We think of him as only really in kind of dark, tragic, but what we see here is diametrically opposed to that, because this is Poe in his formative stage, and that I'm saying that the events that take place in this film inspire him to become the writer that we have known and loved.
The heart is a symbol, or it is nothing. It's a balance between historical fact but also weaving this narrative in that is completely fictionalized. And I thought my approach to Edgar has to be the exact same. Yes, I need to use the things that are useful, but at the same time I need to have the room to invent and reinvent how we see Poe.
So tell me, how'd you learn about Leroy Fry?
Christian gives quite a restrained performance, and we see here in your performance, and particularly in these moments, that are quite poetic and lyrical. So you have two different acting styles for two very different characters in different places in their lives.
Christian is the most generous of actors. If I was to say he has a superpower, which is a funny way of putting it, but it is his ability to really listen and be in the moment. I mean, it's unlike anything I've ever experienced before personally.
You don't mean to imply that someone hanged Mr. Fry.
It was really important that we get the lighting right, which of course we know would only be lit by candlelight, a fire, perhaps an oil lantern of sorts. Masanobu Takenagi and I discussed really lighting this as though it were lit by one of the Dutch masters. Rembrandt we talked about. And when it's lit with this type of chiaroscuro lighting, there's a sense of intimacy that binds the characters. Directorially, I wanted to shoot it very classically, which is stay out of the way, let the characters come to the camera, and then just let the performers tell the story. Because Masanobu Takenagi's incredible lighting, Stefania Cella's incredible design, and Kasia Willika Mamon's costumes really help tell the story. As a director, I get everything that I need out of this scene, which is two very different characters who have the same goals, and that as a viewer, that this is going to be somewhat fun watching these two men work together.
We want a second look at a cadet named Loughborough. In former days, Leroy Fry's roommate until they had a falling out. Thank you for watching The Pale Blue Eye.